What's good, YouTube? Welcome back, man. And in today's video, I'm gonna be showing you guys the best possible build you can make in 2K25. Now, if you guys have been watching me, you know that I've already dropped this build. However, I made it even better. So that better version is exactly what I'm going to be showing you guys in this video. This center build is 7 feet tall and is able to dunk on anybody, shoot from anywhere, dribble with some elite dribble moves, and has some of the best defense I've ever seen on a build. So real quick, man, if you guys haven't already, we are this close to 70,000 subscribers. If you guys haven't already, please make sure to like and subscribe. But hey, man, without any further ado, let's jump right into this. And by the way, the jump shot and all the animations will be at the end of the video. All right, and here we are in the builder. You're not going to want to use Pro Tune, NBA, community builds. You're going to want to create your own build. And of course, your name, handedness, jersey number, that all does not matter. It doesn't change how the build plays. Do whatever you want. But moving on to the physicals and attributes like that, you're going to want to make the position, like I said, a center position. Now for the height, this is one of my favorite parts about this build because you can literally do everything on this build while being 7 feet tall. And like I said, this build has some incredible defense. So being 7 foot, and even with the speed that you're gonna get on this build, you're gonna be able to guard anybody on the court. Now for the weight, we're gonna bring this down 6 pounds and we're gonna put it at a 247 weight. Now this was the best weight that I found to be able to get all the speed with ball, speed, agility, and strength, most importantly, that you're definitely going to want on this build. So I would definitely go with 247 pounds. And for your wingspan, we're actually going to bring this down and we're going to put it at 7'2". The reason I did that was because it was the perfect middle ground to be able to get all the shooting attributes that you want, like mid-range and three-pointer, but as well keeping that ball handle that you want and the defense and all of that. But now moving on to the attributes, man, we are going to start in the finishing category. The first thing you want to upgrade is your driving dunk. We're going to bring this all the way up to a 73. Now you're going to see in a minute, once we upgrade our physicals and stuff like that, the reason I went for a 73 opposed to a 70 or anything lower or anything higher was because 73 allows you to get the posterizer badge. And what that's going to do is going to make it a lot easier to get dunks when there are defenders in the paint and stuff like that. So while with the 73 driving dunk, you're not going to be able to get contact dunks. In my opinion, contact dunks you don't need in 2K25. I could probably count the amount of contact dunks I've gotten this year on one hand. Trust me, you are going to be perfectly fine without contact dunks, and 73 is more than enough. After that, we're going to bring our standing dunk, and we're going to upgrade that all the way up to an 81. And once again, what that is going to do is it's going to allow us to get aerial wizard for those lobs, and also it's going to give us a good rise up badge once we upgrade our physicals and vertical and stuff like that. And trust me, rise up this year is very, very good. Since I've been using this build, the standing dunks on this thing are absolutely crazy. But now moving on to the layup, we are going to upgrade this to a 64. The reason I didn't go much higher than a 64 is because when you drive to the paint, you get an insane amount of driving dunks. Pretty much every time I attack the paint, I get a dunk. And when I don't, 64 layup has been more than enough for me, especially once we upgrade our close shot, because we're going to bring that all the way up to an 89. That's going to give us goal float game if you want to do those, paint prodigy on silver, which just makes it a lot easier to score in the paint. And like I said, most of the time when you're driving to the paint, you're gonna get a dunk, and if you don't, that layup is gonna be more than enough. And if you just stop for 1 second and take a close shot instead, there's no chance you'll miss. But now moving on to post control, we're gonna bring this all the way up to an 84. Now this is gonna help us get unpluckable, and as we all know, that is a very, very important badge. It'll just keep people from being able to steal the ball whenever you're dribbling. It also helps us with post up poet and hook specialist if you're doing post hooks, but most importantly, this is going to allow you to move around easily in the post. But now moving on to the shooting category, the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to max out that mid-range to a 90. Now, like I said, I perfectly measured out the wingspan to be able to get you this exact 90 without having to have extra attributes that you could have used elsewhere. So with a 7'2" wingspan, you're going to be able to get a 90 mid-range shot. And what that's going to do is that it's going to allow you to get Hall of Fame post-fade phenom. Now what this also gets you is gold set shot specialist. So if you're playing 2s, 3s, or anything like that, or even just dribbling and you stop dribbling and take the shot or off the catch or anything like that, this badge is in effect every time, whether it's at the mid-range or the 3. This badge will help you make your shots and make them a lot easier to time. And of course, you also get dead eye on silver, so when you're shooting those post fades or really any other shot, this is going to make it a lot harder for defenders to contest you. Now for the 3-point, we're also going to max this one out. We're going to get an 83 point, and the reason for that is because if you go one down, you lose limitless range. You're going to want to have limitless range. That way you're able to shoot from anywhere on the court, because without it, you're basically going to have your toes on the three-point line to be able to make any threes. Now for the free throw, I only upgraded this one to a 66 because we had an extra attribute at the end of this build. But if you're someone that plays rec, pro-am, fives, or anything where you're going to need the free throw, you can definitely upgrade this more. It's just I feel like I didn't really need it. Now moving on to the playmaking. For my last build that I made that was just like this before I actually changed it to make it even better, which we're doing now, you guys complained quite a bit about my pass accuracy. I'm pretty sure it was like a 55. And after using that, I kind of see what you guys mean. 55 is a little bit on the low end. So on this build, we upgraded it quite a bit more. We're going to upgrade it all the way to a 71. Now, the reason I went for a 71, you get break starter on bronze, obviously, but also if you drop down to a 70, you only get dimer on bronze. But with the 71, you get it on silver. Whether you're playing rec and passing it down the court with that break starter, or maybe you're in the post and you're getting doubled and you kick it out to the three, that's going to make it a lot easier for your teammates to make their shots. But now for the ball handle, man, this is one of my favorite parts about this build. We are going to bring this all the way up to a 71. Now, once again, we went with a 71 instead of a 70 because without the 71, you actually lose the handles for days badge. And when you're dribbling, you're going to want to have handles for days. I'm going to tell you this right now. If you don't have it, you're going to be out of stamina in 2 seconds. And with a 71 ball handle, you're going to be getting all of the dribble animations that you want and need on this build. For a 7-foot build, you're able to dribble like crazy. Now for the speed with ball, you want to be as fast as you possibly can when you're dribbling with the ball. So we're just going to max that out to a 58. It's nothing crazy, but trust me, once you're dribbling on this build, it does not feel that slow. And if you use the animations that I'm going to show you at the end of the video, you're actually going to be able to get some like speed boost type animations with the moves that I use on this build. And now for the defense, man, this is one of my favorite parts about this build is because it can literally guard everyone on the court. And now once again, this is another thing that I upgraded on this build, and I think the upgrades that I made just make it even better. So for the interior defense starting out, we're going to bring that all the way up to an 82. And you guys are going to see once we upgrade our block, vertical, and strength and stuff like that, these 2 badges, paint patroller and post lockdown, are going to go up. But with an 82, I found it was the perfect sweet spot to get all the badges that you want, but still be able to use a ton of attributes on the other things that we have as well. Now for the perimeter defense, I only brought it up 5 to a 37, which I know is not crazy, but once again, we are a 7-foot center build, and I promise you, you're not going to need that as much because once we upgrade our speed and agility, you're going to be able to keep up with anyone on the court. But now for our steal, this is something that a lot of people wanted to see on this build when I posted it the last time. So for this build, we're actually going to bring up our steal all the way up to a 60. And the reason for that is because it allows you to get bronze interceptor on this build. Now moving on to the block, this literally might be one of my favorite parts about this build. We're going to bring this all the way up to a 93. Now with the 93, you end up getting gold high flying denier. I know it's on bronze, but once we upgrade our speed and vertical, it's going to go all the way up to gold. And if you use a badge upgrade that you can get this year, you can get it all the way up to Hall of Fame, and that is just nuts. I've been using it for the past couple weeks, and it is crazy. But yeah, man, also with the 93 block, you get paint patroller on gold, pogo stick on bronze, and once we upgrade our vertical, that'll go up more as well. But yeah, man, this 93 block is absolutely insane in 2K25. Now moving on to the rebounding, this is another thing that people wanted to see upgraded a little bit. And on my last build, I actually did an 85 defensive rebound and an 80 offensive rebound, but this time I switched it up. We're gonna do 87 offensive rebound, and for our defensive rebound, we're gonna bring that up to an 80. Now what this does is it allows you to get rebound chaser on silver, and once again, once we upgrade our strength and all of that, we're gonna get box out beast on a lot higher than it is right now. It's on nothing right now, but trust me, that's gonna go up once we upgrade our strength. Now for the physicals, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna upgrade our speed to a 67. I told you guys that we're gonna have a pretty high speed and agility on this build, so you're able to switch onto the guards or whatever you need to do to be able to get stops on the defensive end. And in my opinion, 67 speed, while it might seem low on a 7-foot build, is more than enough, and you're gonna be able to keep up with anybody on the court. Now for your agility, we're gonna bring that up to a 50. Once again, nothing crazy, but I found that you don't really need it much higher than this, and I have had no problems on the defensive or offensive end with a 50 agility. Now for your strength, this is something that I upgraded opposed to my last build. For this build, we're upgrading it all the way to a 90. On my last build, I'm pretty sure it was an 83, but with the 90, you end up getting some defensive badges quite a bit higher, and also just with that 90, you're going to be able to get a lot more stops. Whether you're playing 2s, 3s, rec, 1s, anywhere that people are going to be drop stepping you or trying to get into the paint, you're going to be able to get a lot more stops with this 90 strength. But now for your vertical, this is very important. You want to upgrade this and max it out with your last attributes to an 80. And the reason you want to go 80 is because without it, you don't get high flying denier on gold. And trust me right now when I tell you, you want high flying denier on gold. I get so many chase downs or just even blocks in general. And like I said, with that extra attribute upgrade, I am able to actually get this on Hall of Fame. And that just makes so much of a difference, man. It is absolutely crazy. And like I said earlier, we end up getting silver rise up, silver pogo stick, silver aerial wizard, and of course, posterizer on bronze. But there we are with shades of George McCann, Chris Stapps, and Yusuf Nurkic. We have built a two-way, 3-level scoring threat. I'm pretty sure it's the last name is my last build, but in my opinion, it is so much better. But now as for my animations, here they all are. And now if you guys want my jump shot, click the video on the screen. And if you guys made it to this point, make sure to like, subscribe, turn the post notifications on, and let me know in the comments what you guys want to see in the next video.